Right now, researchers are working to learn more about unearthed debris that is believed to be the remnants of a shipwreck from the 1800s. The wreck was discovered in Florida following coastal erosion caused by hurricanes Ian and Nicole, which caused several deaths and unprecedented damage earlier this year. Well, the object was previously buried under some 5 feet of sand along Florida's Atlantic coast, east of Orlando. Joining me right now, Chuck Mead, the director of the Lighthouse Maritime Archaeological Maritime Program. He is leading an archaeological team that is working with state officials in Florida to study what they think might be a wreck. So what? Hi, Chuck. First of all, how you doing? I'm wondering what
I'm
about—
doing great.
Oh, wonderful. What about that debris or debris field makes you think that possibly it is a ship?
Well, thanks so much for having me. We were asked by the state of Florida, my institution, which is based at the St. Augustine Lighthouse and Maritime Museum, to go out and take a look at this debris. And there had been some speculation that it could be a shipwreck, or it might be a pier, or someone who even thought it might be the bleachers from when they used to do races on the beach at Daytona. But we can definitively say that it is a shipwreck. We have seen key features, ship construction features like ceiling planking and frames and stringers with particular types of scarfs and the fasteners that are used to hold these timbers together. So it is definitely the remains of a sailing ship, and it almost certainly dates to the 1800s.
Oh my gosh, fascinating. And so what about those markers or pieces of that ship certainly make you believe that it is from the 1800s? I mean, can you give an idea of some of the details that were unearthed?
Yeah, so you know, it's interesting if you have a random piece of wooden wreckage, wooden hull timbers that come up on a beach in Florida on our Atlantic coast, just statistically alone, it's most likely that they will date to the 1800s. And that's just because we have so much more shipping in the 19th century or the 1800s than we did in previous centuries. So we kind of start off almost with that assumption, and then we are looking as best we can. In this case, what had been exposed was buried again, so we had to dig down to expose these timbers one more time. And looking closely at the timbers, we haven't seen anything that would suggest an earlier date or a more recent date. So everything looks very consistent with the types of bolts or the types of iron spikes or wooden pegs they're holding the timbers together. Everything is consistent with what we have seen on other shipwrecks that date to the 1800s.
Wow. And do you have any suspicion, or are you familiar with any particular ships, names of ships, or the use of these ships from the 1800s that this could possibly be part of? Because I remember, you know, diving with a dive group that were looking for slave trade ships along the Florida coast.
It's most likely that this is a merchant vessel. These big wooden sailing ships during the 19th century, you know, America was a maritime nation. We built our economic power and our military power because of our proximity to the oceans on either side of our nation. And it's most likely that this was a merchant ship. So this would have been kind of the equivalent of an 18-wheeler semi-truck that we see on the interstates today. It's probably not likely that it dates to the slave trade. It probably would date till after the slave trade was outlawed. But it seems, again, odds are certainly that it was carrying a cargo, perhaps a cargo of lumber, or it could have, if it was coming from the Caribbean, sailing north along our coast, it could have had a cargo of fruit. If it was coming from the Gulf of Mexico, sailing along the Florida coast, it could have had a cargo of lumber. If it was coming from Boston or New York or Philadelphia, sailing south along the Florida coast, then it may have had manufactured goods. But it's most likely one of these again, kind of 18-wheelers of the 19th century, bringing goods to or from one part of our coast to another.
And then what will you do with the remnants of this find?
Well, that's a great question, and a lot of folks ask if we're going to be digging up the entire shipwreck and putting it on display, and it's really it's just prohibitively expensive to try to recover waterlogged timbers that are a few hundred years old, that in this case maybe 80 to 100 feet long. Is what people reported the size of this wreck from what they saw when it was more fully exposed. It would take millions of dollars literally to preserve those timbers. Now, if they stay where they are, if they're in wet sand and if they're buried, they're in the dark, they'll literally last virtually forever. They'll last hundreds and hundreds of more years. If we were to pull these timbers out, they would begin to dry out. And unless we acted fast and got them submerged in a gigantic vat with particular chemicals, and we'd have to heat those chemicals, you just have to do that to preserve the wood. So it really is something that's so expensive. The best thing for us to do to protect the ship is to record it. We've taken wood samples, we've taken measurements, we've taken a lot of photographs. We can generate a 3D model of the exposed timbers that we saw. So we have recorded it as best we can to try to hopefully understand it, and maybe when we do some research in the historical archives, identify it perhaps by name if we have some good candidates that went down in the area. But it would really, it just is there's no way that we can take the entire ship out.
Chuck Mead, it's quite the undertaking. All right. Thank you.
Indeed. Thank you
Pardon
so much.
the fun. All right. We'll be right back. Good luck on that project.